What's going on, guys? It is your boy here, the combat consultant, of course, the soundboard god, Jacob Kuberman, here with gloves up, another episode, and we got to talk about tag team boxing. There was a short 1-minute clip featuring Derek Chisora amongst other athletes boxing in the ring and doing what I can best describe as kind of a pro wrestling tap-out system, but with boxing. And I would say that I'd want to do a kind of breakdown, but Wade does what he does best, the GOAT that he is, and already broke it down with a lot of the questions that I think a lot of people would have revolving around how something like this would work. Mainly, if you get hit by a big shot, can you tap out? What happens when there's someone getting knocked out? What I want to talk about is how this is making waves in the general community. Because I saw a lot of negative comments, namely under that video, just talking about how if this was regular boxing, that they would stop watching, how this was a terrible idea, there were so many moving parts, how could we possibly ensure that something like this would be feasible? And I'm always a guy that enjoys innovation. Like, I like the fact that this sport has a little bit of it seems like a second breath, right? A new breath of fresh air being injected into it. That is the industry of influencer boxing. I can always appreciate that. And as a guy that's creative, I like this idea on paper, the tag in, tag out system. It definitely adds to the circus type of feeling that you do get from some of these influencer events. I've mentioned on past videos before about how Misfits is kind of the most professional iteration we have of influencer boxing up until this point. And now with the addition of tag team boxing, because it has been greenlit for the future, it is kind of mixing in that, I want to say, that gladiator kind of spectator spectacle type of aspect back into it, which I think is fine, but you just have to balance things out. We should never go too far in one direction with these things. Again, one thing that I really like about Misfits is how professional the fighters take it, how professional the production quality is, how guys come in shape, on weight, and the boxing, the product, right? The fighters, which is what it's always about, are always ready to go and to put on a very good show. And we already have guys. It's important in combat sports that you have guys that kind of had their own vibes to them. So for instance, Saul Pop, I did a breakdown on him. He's kind of the Mike Tyson, put you out with one shot type of guy, right? You have Slim, he kind of falls into that ilk, but he's very entertaining on the mic. He's made a name for himself for being so entertaining. You have the big hitters, Jake Paul, KSI, weaving storylines together. Then you have guys like Gibb. I mean, it's great that you have all of these sparsed out personalities. So all the aspects of a regular combat sports organization or a promotion are there. Now, the big question would probably be, does this add or subtract from that aspect of influencer boxing, adding in this tag team type of fight? I know another question that I saw a lot in Wade's comments in his videos were, how would this fare with fighter schedules? Because a lot of guys are taking quick turnaround fights, and would this spread fighters too thin? I think that's a really good question to ask. For me, I just don't know what really this adds, other than just another kind of, I'll say this, it's comparable to what the PFL did with Jake Paul. With every addition you have to something, there has to be some sort of, it has to service the end goal in some way. And I'm guessing the end goal of Misfits is to be recognized as a legit and competitive boxing organization. Having a tag team system that's more so kind of in WWE's lane, not only does it open a new can of worms relating to, title challengers or, rankings and the roster spots and all that different type of stuff. Does a tag team win count as much as a regular win? And they have to figure out all that stuff. If the main goal is to get to a point where we have these sanctioning bodies coming in, we have these belts, right? And it's the IBC, and you have all these diversified weight classes. I just think that adding a tag team match to each card, it doesn't make enough of a dent I feel like personally, to grow the popularity of this industry any. And it also doesn't add to kind of the lineage of something like this. It feels almost like filler, like a soulless filler type of addition to the sport to say, hey, we're different. When in reality, you shouldn't have to lean on that. It's entertainers boxing, right? So it's YouTube personalities. That can be where you get your source of entertainment and your differentiation from different sports from. It doesn't have to be with these more spectacle type of events. Now, maybe you could slot it in for up and coming guys, but if you're talking about the stars of the sport, think about it. Does this really add anything? Not really. My main concern is that Mams, Taylor, whoever's running this, I don't want to see them take this too quick and get a little bit too overzealous with the forms of differentiation that they have or with adding new scaffolding on. I think they're in a really good spot now where they should kind of worry more so about developing their athletes more than anything else. Is anyone really going to be happy to see a tag team boxing event with your favorite influencers? Wouldn't it just make more sense to, I don't know, watch them box each other one-on-one in a regular format? I, of course, have been your boy, the Soundboard God, the Combat Consultant, Coop, and I will see you guys in the next video.